Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to today's Explainer. Today we're tackling something absolutely critical, probably one of the most urgent challenges facing businesses operating in the Middle East right now. We're walking through a comprehensive business security guide, specifically focusing on cybersecurity services in the UAE. And, well, just to set the stage for what we're about to unpack, consider this. Cyber attacks in the region, they are surging at an unprecedented rate. We're talking recent threat intelligence showing literally millions of attack detections every single quarter. I gotta tell you right out of the gate, the stakes have literally never been higher for protecting your operations, your data, and, yeah, your bottom line. So let's figure out exactly how to navigate this whole thing together.
So why is cybersecurity a priority for UAE businesses right now? Look, if you're sitting in the C-suite, or if you manage any kind of digital infrastructure, this is the multi-million-dollar question, right? The answer really comes down to the UAE's incredible, just lightning-fast shift toward a fully digital economy. Now, don't get me wrong, this transformation is amazing for growth, speed, and efficiency, but it's also massively expanded the attack surface. As more of your critical operations, customer data, and financial transactions move online, well, the risk, the exposure, and the ultimate cost of a breach grow right alongside all those new opportunities.
Here is our roadmap for today. 1. The UAE's digital economy. 2. The growing cyber threat. 3. Why proactive security matters. 4. The managed security advantage. And 5. Securing your digital future.
Section 1. The UAE's digital economy. A rapid transformation. Organizations across the region are just aggressively embracing cloud computing, rolling out AI at scale, launching these massive smart city initiatives, pioneering fintech innovations, and completely digitizing government services. It's honestly a gold rush of innovation. But let's think about those smart city initiatives for a second. The sheer level of interconnectedness required to make a city smart is staggering. You've got traffic grids, utility networks, public services, they're all constantly talking to each other. And while that drives incredible efficiency, it also means a single vulnerability can cascade through a massive network like wildfire. The very advancements creating these amazing growth opportunities, they inherently carry some seriously complex new vulnerabilities.
Section 2. The growing cyber threat, targeting the UAE.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the brutal reality of the situation. The exact technology driving all this amazing economic growth acts like a giant beacon for highly sophisticated cybercriminals. We aren't talking about some lone hacker trying to guess passwords in a basement anymore. Actually, scratch that. We're dealing with highly organized syndicates executing crippling ransomware attacks, convincing phishing schemes, complex cloud security breaches, and deep API vulnerabilities. Take business email compromise, or BEC, for example. This isn't just your standard spam. This is an attacker silently monitoring an executive's email for months. They learn how you speak, they figure out your payment schedules, and then they quietly intercept a massive wire transfer just by changing one account number on a legit-looking invoice. These attacks are meticulously targeted at key sectors like banking, healthcare, government, energy, and retail. These criminals are actively looking to steal sensitive data, disrupt supply chains, or just extort massive payouts.
Let's strip away all the technical jargon for a minute and look at the real-world impact here. What does a data breach actually mean for a business? Well, it isn't just lost bytes. It means a total loss of customer confidence, a commodity that, let's be honest, takes years to build and literal minutes to destroy. What does ransomware mean? It translates directly to massive financial loss and operational downtime. Your business literally grinds to a halt. Employees can't work, customers can't buy, shipments stop moving, the whole shebang. And what about API or cloud vulnerabilities? Those lead straight to severe regulatory penalties and lasting reputational damage. So these aren't just annoying IT headaches. They are devastating, tangible business crises that can genuinely threaten the very survival of a company.
Section 3. Why proactive security matters. A strategic investment.
To survive and thrive in this kind of environment, there needs to be a fundamental paradigm shift in how executives think. The old days of reactive security, basically just waiting around for an incident to happen and then scrambling to put out the fire, those days are completely over. So the crucial point is this: cybersecurity is not an IT expense. It is a critical business investment that protects your revenue, your reputation, and your customer relationships. You've got to stop viewing this as just some annoying line item on the tech budget and start seeing it as essential long-term financial risk management. Modern organizations rely on digital platforms for absolutely everything. You simply cannot afford to leave those revenue-generating assets unprotected. The return on investment of not being breached is just immense.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? Let's walk through the exact steps professional cybersecurity services take to lock everything down. Step 1. Identify vulnerabilities early. Think of it like stress testing the foundation of a building before you move all your most valuable assets inside. You have to find the holes in your own armor before the attackers do. Step 2. Strengthen your network and cloud security. Build those digital walls higher, smarter, and way more resilient. Step 3. Monitor threats 24/7. Hackers don't work 9 to 5, and they for sure don't take public holidays off. Neither should your defenses. And finally, Step 4. Respond quickly to incidents. This comprehensive step-by-step approach is exactly how you stop attackers before they exploit gaps, minimize the blast radius if they do try something, and ensure you're meeting those strict regulatory requirements.
Section 4. The Managed Security Advantage. A smarter approach.
We know we need proactive security, right? But how do you actually implement it without completely bankrupting your organization? Every executive is facing this strategic choice right now. Building an in-house security team requires a massive, high investment. You're out there competing to hire increasingly rare top-tier talent, buying incredibly expensive software tools, and building complex infrastructure totally from scratch. And this brilliantly illustrates the alternative, utilizing managed security services, or MSS. It offers reduced operational costs, that absolutely crucial 24/7 continuous monitoring, and immediate access to an entire bench of certified experts. By outsourcing to a managed service, you get incredible value, unmatched scalability as your business grows, and vastly faster incident response times. You instantly gain a dedicated team whose only job is to investigate alerts and contain threats before they disrupt your day.
Section 5. Securing your digital future. Choosing the partner.
Now, recognizing that you need managed security services is step 1. Step 2 is evaluating the right partner to actually make it happen. The source material points us specifically to the credentials of Lumiverse Solutions, a trusted cybersecurity provider. So let's look at what makes a partner actually capable. 12+. That represents their years of deep industry experience. They spent well over a decade delivering critical vulnerability assessment and penetration testing, and they've guided organizations through super complex standards like ISO 27001 and SOC 2 compliance globally. You aren't just buying from a software vendor here. You're getting a highly seasoned partner who has actually grown alongside this constantly evolving threat landscape.
Over 850. That is the staggering number of real-world cybercrime cases they've actively investigated. This isn't just theoretical knowledge from some textbook or a quick weekend certification course. No way. This proves they possess battle-tested, in-the-trenches expertise across major enterprise sectors. They know exactly how modern attackers operate, what tactics they pivot to when you block them, and how they try to hide their tracks. Why? Because they've literally tracked them down and stopped them hundreds of times.
1,500+. This is the number of comprehensive cybersecurity audits they have conducted. Through these extensive audits, they make sure businesses don't just look secure on paper, but genuinely stay secure in reality. Because, let's be honest, there's a massive difference between ticking a compliance box for an auditor and actually repelling a real live threat. These audits guarantee businesses remain fully compliant with evolving regulations and are confidently ready for whatever structural changes the future holds.
4,500+. Now, this might actually be the most important statistic of the whole bunch. It is the number of cybersecurity awareness sessions they've delivered. Because you have to remember, deploying world-class tech is really only half the battle. Your own people are very often the weakest link in the security chain. It seriously only takes one well-intentioned employee clicking on a sophisticated phishing link to compromise an entire network. This huge number shows a true commitment to strengthening that human layer, educating staff, reducing internal risks, and solidifying the organizational processes right from the ground up.
As we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with this incredibly powerful reality check straight from our source material. Cyber attacks are no longer a matter of if, but when. It's a really sobering realization, but it is the absolute, undeniable truth of doing business in a digital world today. The UAE's digital transformation has opened up enormous opportunities, for sure, but it has irreversibly raised the stakes. The days of just flying under the radar, they're completely over. So the final question you really have to ask yourself and your executive